Hi, everyone. This is Elise, Emma, and Elizabeth, and today we will be presenting on our research question of does a person's gender and age predict their willingness to call someone else by a non-binary pronoun, specifically they, them. We hypothesize that as people get older, they are less willing to use gender-neutral pronouns. In addition, we researched if gender had an effect on this pattern. In order to test this, we created a qualtrics survey of 5 questions where one of the questions was a weed out question, and if the participants did not answer correctly, their results were not calculated in. After that, we had 4 other questions. The first one being, what was your gender? The choices were man, woman, or non-binary, or other. What they identified as either transgender or cisgender. What their age was. And then we had a sliding bar scale where participants could rate how comfortable they were using a non-binary pronoun such as they or them, where 1 was very uncomfortable and 5 was very comfortable. The final question was the following sentence. Sam uses they, them pronouns. Amy uses she, her pronouns. Amy and Sam are friends. Sam wanted to go meet Amy at the mall, but their car broke down. Whose car broke down? And the choices were either Sam or Sam and Amy's. After the participants took the survey and we calculated out all the people who did not answer the weed out question properly, our sample size ended up being 27 participants.
All right, so on to the actual results of our data. For the gender identity question, we found that we had a good split between men and women. They weren't leaning too far in one direction. We had 12 men and 14 women. We also got 1 non-binary individual. For our second question of age, we had a fairly diverse age group in our sample, and we managed to get participants from all over our provided age spaces, although about half of our participants were from the age group of 30 to 49. For our question of whether our participant identified as transgender or cisgender, we got the results of having 21 cisgender participants, and we had 6 who identified as transgender. Looking at the differences in transgender and cisgender identities and what they rated their level of comfort in using they and them pronouns, we found that cisgender people are on average less comfortable using they them pronouns than their transgender counterparts, as the average of cisgender respondents said 3.14, while transgender individuals said 3.83. Second, we looked at the level of comfort using they, them pronouns between men and women. We found that men are slightly more comfortable using they, them pronouns than women, as men had an average of 3.33 out of 5, while women had an average of 3.14 out of 5. And of course, the non-binary individual had a comfort of 5 out of 5. Finally, we looked at the level of comfort using they, them pronouns with age. For the age group of 18 to 29, the level of comfort was really high. It was close to 4 out of 5. For age group 30 to 49, the level of comfort was closer to 3. For the age group of 50 to 64, the level of comfort was around 2.83 averaged. Then finally, at 65 plus, the average level of comfort spiked up to 3.5. From this graph, we can conclude that comfortability using non-binary pronouns decreased with age until the age of 65 plus, when the level of comfort spiked up a little bit.
Okay. The next question we asked was a question to determine whether or not respondents would actually use a singular they, them gender-neutral pronoun. This question was question 5. Sam uses they, them pronouns. Amy uses she, her pronouns. Amy and Sam are friends. Sam wanted to go meet Amy at the mall, but their car broke down. Whose car broke down? And the respondents could answer Sam or Sam and Amy. The results for this question were surprising. Even though there was not much difference for the average comfortability level between men and women, Women were much more likely to answer Sam instead of Sam and Amy when compared to men. The one binary person that responded to the survey answered Sam. And this is the response to the singular they-them question as far as age goes. And younger people in the 18 to 29 group were more likely to choose Sam than any other age group. 71% of 18 to 29-year-olds answered Sam. Then the likelihood that respondents would choose Sam decreased with age until the age group of 65 plus. Only 33% of 50 to 64-year-olds answered Sam. Interestingly, this is a pretty clear downward trend until the last age group. There were only 2 people in this age group, and this reflects the results to the comfortability question as well. Okay, this is the level of comfort compared with age and gender. The men's average of comfort is going up as age increases, and the women's average of comfort begins to go down as age increases. But at the highest age, comfort level spikes up again. And the highest age group, 65 plus, only had 2 respondents, but it still is an interesting change in the data. The conclusionary results. Based on the output of our data, when age is not taken into account, men are more comfortable with they-them pronouns than women. When age is taken into account, older men are, on average, more comfortable using they-them pronouns than older women, with older being 50 to 64. However, younger women are, on average, more comfortable than younger men, with younger being 18 to 29. Factoring in age has an opposite effect on men and women. Men seem to get more comfortable with time, and women get less comfortable with time. All right, thank you all for watching.